Legislation, Policy and Procedures for Working in Early Years Settings. Unit 1, Level 2, Early Years Practitioner. There are many pieces of legislation that underpin working with children. In this unit, you will look at some of these pieces of legislation and the guidance that supports them. You will also look at your settings, policies and procedures, which will be written to cover all legal requirements. If something is written in a piece of legislation, then you have to follow it. It is not optional. The Children's Act 1989 and the 2004 update are two main pieces of legislation relating to children. The 2004 update introduced Every Child Matters. These 5 outcomes are considered to be the very basic provision that every child should receive. All these pieces of legislation expect the child's welfare to be the main priority and expects children to be kept safe by the adults responsible for them. The Health and Safety at Work Act puts a responsibility on the employer to provide a safe working environment and ensures there is clear consequences for those that do not follow health and safety legislation. The Equality Act protects against discrimination. The Act identifies protected characteristics which make it illegal to treat someone less favourably than others because of their differences. GDPR is the piece of legislation that governs confidentiality and how someone's personal information can be stored and used. You will have access to various pieces of information about a child, and this information should remain private at all times. Information can only be shared if a child's welfare is at risk. You should read your settings policy regarding how you should share concerns. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child sets out the basic rights that every child is entitled to, which is a global piece of legislation, so it is not just relevant in the United Kingdom. One of the main rights of the child is the right to relax, play and join in a range of cultural and artistic activities. This means that all settings must provide children with time to relax. This could be story time, sleep time or any time where children are less active. The child also has the right to a range of activities that aid development in all areas and should include multicultural activities and activities that encourage children to express themselves and be creative. This would also include having barriers removed so all activities are accessible. The Children and Families Act's main focus is children with additional need. This could be a learning difficulty or a disability. The legislation means that all children should be encouraged to meet their full potential and that appropriate support must be given to help achieve this. As legislation can be complicated to read and understand, many pieces of legislation have guidance that must be followed, which simplify expectations. The guidance on this slide all state responsibilities with regards to safeguarding children and should be followed by all agencies that have interaction with children, for example doctors, health visitors, specialists, etc. Other guidance documents are shown here. The Equality Act guidance is a simple guide to how the Equality Act is expected to be implemented in school. The EYFS, which is the main statutory guidance document that all settings for children under 5 use, covers more than just the learning and development milestones. It sets out safeguarding, such as medication rules and staff qualifications, as well as ratios, information recording and promoting children's health. Your setting will have a range of policies and procedures, some examples of which are listed here. There are probably many more, and you should ensure you are familiar with those that relate to you and should be fully aware of where to find the policies if you need to refer to them. In order to pass this unit, you need to ensure you have read your settings policies and are clear about your responsibilities and accountabilities within your role. You can now complete Task 1 for Unit 1, which is found in the library when you log into your ePortfolio. Please remember to ask your tutor or assessor if you need support.